Merci, Matt. Bonjour à tous. Ça me fait plaisir de vous voir. It's a pleasure. For those who don't necessarily speak French, there's translation. So I'm just saying there may be parts of the remarks in French that are really relevant. Donc, ça me fait plaisir d'être ici pour le Sommet canadien de la concurrence 2025. As we all know, right now we're living in a much more complicated and dangerous world, one that is shaped by rising trade tensions, to say the least. I used to be, as Matt mentioned, and as you all know, the foreign minister, and I used to work much more on the diplomatic front of these trade tensions, and now I'm working on the economic front of these trade tensions. Used to work much more on the causes, and now I'm working on the consequences of these trade tensions. And over the 4 last years, I've seen the security environment across the world being eroded by wars and tensions, from the beginning of the Ukraine war to the war in the Middle East, to tensions also in the Indo-Pacific. And as well, with the arrival of President Trump, we saw that trade was being used in bilateral relations in a different way than previous American administrations, to say the least. So now what we're seeing is that there's a link between security and the economy. And for decades, we've counted on stable allies, open trade, and an ever-expanding consumer base. But today, global markets are shifting. Supply chains are under pressure, and Canadians across the country are really feeling the impacts of all this at the grocery store, at the gas pump, and when paying their bills. Affordability is the #1 issue in the minds of Canadians. And our government is rising to the challenge with a clear mandate to bring costs down and to build one strong Canadian economy. We've already cut taxes for 22 million Canadians, and we've cut the carbon tax. Competition is another way we're lowering prices because it keeps prices fair, drives innovation, and it provides Canadians with real choice. Let me be clear, this government will be hawkish on competition. All parts of the government will be involved because it is really important that we have an all-hands-on-deck approach. And it starts, of course, obviously, with the Competition Bureau. Premièrement, nous avons modernisé les lois sur la concurrence au Canada en donnant au Bureau de la concurrence des moyens plus efficaces pour lutter contre les comportements anticoncurrentiels et protéger les consommateurs. Et les résultats sont déjà là. Le Bureau a ciblé les contrôles restrictifs sur les propriétés. Sa dernière étude de marché sur le financement des PME en est un autre exemple, des domaines où l'abordabilité et l'accès sont essentiels. Et nous irons encore plus loin, car les prix doivent baisser. Second, we're creating the conditions for affordability across various sectors. In telecommunications, for example, we've opened up more spectrum to smaller players, helping them enter the market and drive down prices. We've introduced changes to the Telecommunications Act that make it easier for Canadians to switch providers and find better deals. And last August, our government upheld the CRTC decision to mandate wholesale access to fiber networks. The ruling enables internet providers to compete today across the country. This means more choice, lower prices, and better service offerings for Canadians everywhere. C'est une victoire pour les consommateurs et c'est une démonstration claire que la concurrence peut améliorer l'abordabilité. Mais nous savons qu'il reste du travail à faire. When it comes to housing, Canadians, especially young Canadians, deserve the chance to own a home they can afford. We will increase supply to bring costs down. We're doubling the pace of home construction through Build Canada Homes to significantly increase supply and bring down prices. This builds on lower interest rates and a new tax break for first-time homebuyers. So my message today is clear. Canada is open for business, but we expect companies to compete fairly. Looking ahead, we'll continue to strengthen competition in Canadian markets because affordability depends on it. And the Bureau's new study on SME financing will identify barriers that hold smaller firms back, so more Canadian businesses can grow, compete, and thrive. Ne soyez pas surpris de voir d'autres décisions de notre part visant à créer plus de concurrence dans plusieurs secteurs. Nous n'hésiterons pas à agir contre les comportements anticoncurrentiels qui nuisent aux consommateurs et aux entreprises. Mais les lois seules ne suffisent pas. La concurrence ne se décrète pas, elle se construit. Et pour bâtir cette économie concurrentielle, innovatrice et productive, nous avons besoin de vous. Des autorités responsables de la concurrence, des entreprises, de la société civile et de toutes les personnes ici présentes aujourd'hui. C'est ensemble que nous créerons le Canada que nous voulons et que les Canadiens méritent. Thank you so much and have a great summit.